So, Ryan, with your, as previously mentioned, with your patellar dislocation rehab, two of the main things that we're going to try to focus on today are increasing strength in your quads where there's a bit of atrophy within your pain-free range, and also increasing joint proprioception around the knee so that we can prevent this type of injury from occurring again. So one of the big things with patellar dislocations is that they often dislocate laterally because of weakness in the VMO. So what we're going to try to do is a basic exercise where we strengthen the VMO and teach you how to fire the VMO. So I'll get you on to cross your feet for me. And if you just pull up your shorts a little bit, your VMO, if you fire your quads, so if you try to squish your knee into the table, so just like you did again, the muscle on the inside of your thigh is your VMO, or the vastus medialis. So in the case where it's tight on the outside, we want to strengthen the VMO so that it can pull your knee medially as opposed to laterally, where it can potentially dislocate. So what I want you to do for an exercise is that same thing where you contracted your quads. Perfect. What I want you to do is the same thing, but I want you to put your finger, so I'll do it to start to kind of teach how to do it. You're going to put your fingers on top of your VMO, and what you're going to do is just lightly tap them, and then you're going to contract your quads. And you're going to hold that contraction for 2 seconds, and then you're going to let it relax. And then you're going to keep tapping, and then after a brief rest, so about a second or two between reps, you're going to contract again until you do 10 of them. Good. Then you can take a break, and throughout the day I want you to do 3 sets of 10. Okay. So the main thing with why this is proprioceptive is because you're actually feeling yourself this VMO firing, and you're tapping it so that it stimulates a joint sense of proprioception and neuromuscular feedback in your brain, between your brain and your muscles. So you can try that for me. If you do try tapping your VMO the same way it was, contract your quad, hold it for 2 seconds, and then let it go. And then contract again. Good. And you want to make sure that along the 10 reps that this muscle is contracting before your outside quad. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay, the next one I want you to do is some band work, because it's still in the kind of 5 weeks of subacute phase of, well, subacute to chronic phase. We can start working on strengthening within that pain-free range. So what I want to do is a bit of band work right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the, I'm using a red band today because that's probably appropriate for where your strength is at. You're going to put tension on the band, and then what you're going to do is start with your leg bent, and you're going to fully, while you're standing on one foot, you're going to fully extend your knee, and then you're going to slowly go back with the band until you're in knee flexion, where you don't go into that painful range. So if you find that bending your knee at, say, a 95-degree angle roughly is causing pain, I want you to go until you feel 90 degrees. The main thing with this is that we're strengthening your quads, not just by concentrically, so shortening the quad muscles, but by actually lengthening the quad muscles and eccentrically strengthening the quads by slowly bending back to your knee. So when you do this, your first motion of straightening your leg, I want that to be about half the speed of this motion of going back to knee flexion within that pain-free range. Okay. Do you think you could try that for me? Yeah. So good. We're on stretch. So obviously you're too strong for red, so we switch sizes, but in this case, I'm just going to stand behind you. So you're going to try that again. Good. And then slowly go back to knee flexion, staying within that pain-free range. And I want you to do, it's the same thing as this, 10 reps, and you'll do 3 sets. You can do them together as spread out throughout the day. The last thing you can do with this one too, to progress it, is when you're doing your exercises to incorporate that proprioceptive input, you can also tap that inner muscle in your quad the same way as before, getting that muscle to really contract and strengthen the VMO. Does that make sense? Any questions?
No.
Perfect.